Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how to improve your credit score. Now when it comes to credit score, it's a vitally important thing to have in your life whereby you will simply not be able to get credit for loans, mortgages, and even car insurance and household insurance will be more expensive to you because when you pay those things by direct debit, there is a credit search done on your file and it's in effect a loan that you're taking to pay those premiums very often. So, you will not be offered the best products and certainly, your access to credit will be severely limited. But how can you improve your credit score? The first thing to do is to check where you are right now. So we have two major reference agencies in this country and to apply to them, and you can get it done totally for free. And there's lots of apps and websites, etc., which I won't go into right now. But so you can look at that and see exactly where you are. And look at the reports in there and try and understand your credit. And there's lots of guidelines, but the major thing is that to check for is that you've not missed any payments and that you don't have any credit, you don't have any defaults or county court judgments registered against you. And also check for your financial links to people. So if you've financially been linked, for instance, had a mortgage or a loan jointly with somebody and their credit history is poor, then that will affect you. So are you linked to anybody? So check that all the information that's stored about you is correct. So once you've gone from there, then the other thing to check for is how much of your credit are you utilizing. So normally 25 to 30% is the golden rule. Don't go above that. So once you start rising above that, then your credit again will start seeing a dip. So try and get to that point. So if you're worried about your credit score, then generally speaking, there will be an issue, one of those things that I've talked about. How can you get over those? Well, the first thing to do is never ever miss a payment on credit cards, on car finance, on your mobile phones, and on your mortgage. And the best way of doing that, especially with credit cards, is pay everything by direct debit. So pay a monthly minimum on your credit cards each and every month. That way, those payments will not be missed and we won't be penalized for missing payments. So once you've done that, the thing then to do is to try and clear down your credit until you get to that 25, 30%. In an ideal situation, unless you've got interest-free credit on balance transfers and purchases, you shouldn't really be carrying any credit if, they're very, very expensive. We're still talking 20%, 30%, 35%. I've even seen credit cards rated as high as 49%. So it's a very expensive way of borrowing money. And if you have got large amounts outstanding on your credit cards, see if you can transfer those onto a loan, which will be much, much better for you. But of course, if your credit is an issue, then you won't be able to get those loans and you've got to then, suffer in the short term. But the way to make sure that your credit score rises is pay the minimum payment and then pay an extra payment in the middle of the month. That will do two things. It'll show the credit card company that you're a good borrower and that you can manage your money and you're making extra payments to reduce that. So the effect of that will be your conduct will be seen as good, and obviously your the amount of money outstanding on your credit cards will reduce much faster and it will save you a lot of money in interest. So when that credit card statement is emailed to you or lands on your doormat, have a look at the amount of interest that you're paying. I know when we've got financial difficulties, it's very difficult to actually face them and look at what's going on. But until you take stock, you can't do anything about it. So, make sure that you are fully aware, as uncomfortable as it is, to know what it is that you're paying. Because what will happen then is your priorities will change. If you're paying £200, £300, £400 a month interest on credit cards, well, you know what? That new iPhone won't seem half as attractive, or that new Gucci belt will suddenly think, good God, I can live without those. Let's get this sorted out, because managing your credit is the key to living a fulfilled life in the Western world today, because you'll be offered the best credit card rates, you'll be offered the best mortgage rates, you'll be offered the best insurance rates, you'll be offered the best loan rates. So the borrowing of money will get much, much cheaper to you if you have a good credit score. So the benefits of having that are tenfold. And of course, you know, I talk a lot about business and property. So if you want to have a business loan, A, you'll be eligible, B, the rates will be better. If you're going to invest in property or buy your first home, A, you'll be able to get the mortgage, and B, you'll be able to get the mortgage at better rates. So that will means that you're saving more money, you're paying out less in interest, which means that you have more to spend and more to invest. So it really is a win-win. But so many people don't look at their credit. They know it may be in a bad place and just ignore it. You know, burying your head in the sand will not solve these problems. You know, you're an adult, and grow up and take a look at what's going on with that particular file. It's becoming more and more important as time goes on, because companies are able to monitor your credit very, very quickly. They can see what you're doing. And the other thing, of course, is that even in some jobs, you know, if you apply for especially financial services jobs and jobs in the legal profession, etc., they want to know, you know, where you are with your credit. So, you know, can you manage your own money properly? So I know, being ex-financial services, that I had to maintain a good credit score in order to simply keep my job. Because how can I be advising people on their finances when mine are not in order? So there's lots of ways that credit affects you. We'll be talking about this in much, much more detail in future videos. But in the meantime, if you've got any issues, you've got any questions, you know where I am. Just put them in the comments or DM me, as many of you do, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. But you know, I urge you to take a look at your credit file, especially if you've been turned down for something, you know there's an issue. And let's address it. It's done. It can be done. It will take a little bit of time, but we can do this. And, you know, I wish you all the luck with it. And if you've got any issues, you know where I am. I'll see you again.